Together we'll conquer, no limits apply. Eclipse rising, shining so bright. With delusion leading, we'll conquer the night. Together we stand, in battles we fight. In the dark Epoch, our future is right.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I am Delusions, and today we have a returning event that a lot of you have been anticipating and looking out for, and we're going to dive right into it. So this is going to be our spring event, or in their terms, the Sound of Spring event. And what this is going to be functioning like is just like any other 5-day event. So you'll have your first daily purchase reward, which typically is going to come with a small box that, you know, has the opportunity to grant you some really nice items, especially if you can hit some of these wing materials. But it also gives you some other resources like your King's Orchid, Emerald Raindrop, and the Jewel of Soul, which if you followed in any of my other videos, you'll know that as you start progressing up in your levels, those are going to be very sought after and very time consuming to pick up. But with that being said, we will switch over here to our daily events. So even if you choose not to participate in investing in this event, you still have the opportunity to pick up some of these green blossoms, which is really nice because there are some rewards in there that are very handy to have and worth your while to go through and just pick up while you're already doing your dailies. Now you do have the option to go through and get these basic, intermediate, and advanced daily packages, though that does end up getting pretty pricey towards the end of the week. After you consider spending $20 a day for 5 days, puts you at that $100 mark. But moving on, we've got the pass that normally always comes with these types of events. So you have your free track up here at the top, which offers you some good amount of King Orchids, as well as some of these cast iron upgrades. Looks like we got some benedictions, some more cast iron upgrades, some flag patterns. And then as we move down here to the bottom, that's where you can start picking up your anniversary EXP benefits, which is going to increase your experience during this event by 15%, which is always super handy, and we may go through and try to pick that up ourselves. But you also see that we're now getting dragon orbs in here, as well as your traditional costume pieces. This season just happens to be the Beauty and the Beast, so if you don't have that yet, or if you're looking forward to getting that, feel free to go ahead and get this pass and work towards those goals. Going into the Do Wheel of Fortune, which is a nice little play on words there, but it's typically standard to any of these types of events that last for longer than just a few days. Essentially, you'll collect these Emerald Raindrops to be able to go through and spin this wheel with the chance of obtaining some really nice items, kind of focusing around the Soul Sacrament area, as well as the cast iron upgrades, with the exception of being able to pick up some of your costume pieces. For those that are not looking to gain the pass, you can test your luck and spin the wheel and hopefully land on a few of these to get you nice little cosmetic upgrades. Now, going into the diamond shop, this was one of the things that everybody was concerned why it wasn't in the last one. And I think that it was just a little bit of a bug back then, but they have since gone through and tried to rectify that and bring it back into play. But with this, you can accumulate quite a bit of garnets, or not garnets, but the King's Orchids. And I've gone ahead and done the math on what you would receive at the end of this and what that might look like in terms of diamonds for you. So for purchasing all of these packages from start to finish all the way down here, you're looking at somewhere along the lines of collecting 17,900 of these King's Orchid, which is going to be the currency that we'll use in the exchange shop when we touch on that here in just a moment. And as far as from a diamond perspective, you're going to be kind of looking at this around the 26,472 is the exact amount of diamonds that you will end up needing to be able to take full advantage of what the diamond shop has to offer. So what does that translate into? So depending on how you go through with your top-up transactions, if you go through the website, you can typically, purchase a little bit more at a time for a discounted price in a sense. And especially with the coupons and stuff going on, you'll be able to pick up a little bit extra from that. So it is roughly going to cost somewhere around the $400 mark. And again, this is all depending on how you go about it. Now we do have a coupon event that is going on as well to allow you to be able to save a little bit. But just from a general ballpark standpoint, that is what you're going to be looking at to complete this event, outside of picking up this pass as well, or you're coming back into our dailies, is picking up these basic, intermediate, and advanced packages for the green blossoms. Now, something that's really unique about this event in particular, and depending on your level, you may have this available and you may not. But up here, hidden away in the top left corner, is the Dreamy package. So for all of those that are, struggling to hit those tier 4 wings, or they really, really want to get, their tier 3 wings, this is a good way to go about doing it, though I do believe that this overall cost here is way, way expensive. But then again, it says it's mandatory, so you gotta do it. But then again, it guarantees you, doesn't give you a chance, but it guarantees you that you can craft these wings, because once you go into your normal crafting area for the wings, it is going to hold the same chances of success and failure as you would with your third wings, which is kind of nice. And the really nice thing about the 4th tier wings is that they are catered specifically to your class. So there's no, oh man, I can't believe I crafted these wings and they turned into elf wings or dark wizard wings or dark lord cape. It just takes out all the guesswork and allows you to be able to collect upon that. And at the same time, it's still giving you a little bit of extra bonus and on the back end to be able to make sure that you're getting a little bit of your soul sacraments upgrade stones to be able to kind of boost that up just a hair. But this is really, really nice. I'm not sure it's quite worth the value, considering you can get these in the arena by taking a top 3rd spot or a top 3 spot. Or I guess it'd be top 2. But regardless, before too long, you will start finding these Garuda feathers showing up in your guild bosses or castle siege, and it's just one of those things that we know it's coming, but we don't know when. So we're going to step back and give the community, an opportunity to purchase these if they want to get an early jump. Now, going into the exchange shop, this is something that everybody loved so much about, being able to participate in these events, because there's so many different options that you can go through and try to pick up. Now, there has been some changes. If you notice, there is no necklace in this event, which is quite unusual, given this is, typically where it would be. But that being said, they did bring back the core set stone selection. So what this does is it allows you to unlock the full potential of your sets that you craft through your set treasure spinning wheel, and gives you that extra edge in the arena if you're going through the Karaji lineup, or it provides a little bit more bonuses than what you would normally get outside of the set. Now, for you high spenders or medium spenders that have been waiting for this event for a long time, you've been anticipating it, that is one thing the set stone selection package, that is the one thing that I would try to prioritize picking up. For everybody that's in that medium to low range, that's just not quite sure what they want to get, picking up some of these removing stones is an excellent way of boosting your account progression and allowing you to be able to take advantage of some of the things that it has to offer. So before we dive into the rest of all of this, let's go ahead and take a look real quick at what I mean by some of these soul sacraments. So you have the ability to pick up the lifesteal sacrament, which again, is going to increase your attack by quite a bit. It is going to give you what they call a chance of berserk, along with being able to unlock all of these different passives that you will start to gain once you start hitting certain tier levels. And some are really, really great. Some are a little lackluster, but there's so much different variety that you can kind of play this, however you feel. Continuing on to this the actual soul sacrament piece, it is going to turn around and increase your rune options. So anything that your runes are providing for you as far as stats goes, this is going to kind of amplify that a little bit to help bring you up to another level, while at the same time still providing really, really great passives should you try to invest into some of these. Now, towards the later stages of the game, a lot of these are going to start focusing around new gear types that you're going to be unlocking, as well as centering itself around that PvP engagement. As you'll notice, as your playthrough goes, kind of such as this one right here, when your HP is below 25%, your character takes 50.35% less skill damage in PvP. So this is really, really huge for those that are trying to push their arena rankings and climb that ladder to hopefully land one of the top 3 spots. But this is a big one as well. So for every fully equipped rune set, doesn't include the accessories, because again, that's going to be something that is going to be a slow progression path, seeing as you can only pick those up through events or through the reputation shop, and you're limited to how many that you can get. But it will increase your critical damage reduction by 3% per set. So again, some really, really great options to kind of look into when we're starting to talk about how we want to invest our King's Orchids. So let's go ahead and hop back in and look at some of the rest of this. Now, they did introduce the legendary dragon orbs, and for those that don't know, you will utilize these in upgrading the properties and values of your red mounts or your legendary mounts. So some of the big ones that you'll pick up in some of the VIP packages or in some of these limited events, this is where you will put those to good use. Now, continuing on, we have some more dragon orbs for the unique variety, so all of your purple mounts. The Beauty and the Beast weapon costume set, which we can take a look at that as well and just kind of get a feel for what this costume actually provides. So we'll go ahead and we'll start off with the weapons. It's almost like you are utilizing a chocolate dip cracker as a weapon. Kind of sleek looking. But the big thing is it gives you strike ignore. So strike ignore is going to be that specific stat that is going to give you the opportunity to avoid attacks entirely that the opponent is throwing at you. So if they throw a super crit move at you, you have an opportunity to ignore the damage that is going to be coming from that. Now, coming into the actual costume set, as you can see, you get to take on the role as the Beast, right? So the way that this is all going to play out is, since we've now in the later stages started to unlock our elemental properties and our elemental gear, and I'm talking for those that are level 505, I would say 500 and beyond, being able to get a little bit of that elemental attack and defense on your weapons and gear. This is going to play into that. But if you complete the full set, you're actually able to pick up the double damage rate, which is really going to turn around and provide some nice bonus for us for those really rapid firing classes, to be able to pack an extra punch and be able to dish out a lot more damage. So as we continue through this process, please keep in mind and be thinking about how you want to prioritize your hard-earned king orchids for what you would like to get. Now, they also do have the Marionette of War selection package, which is going to be the Soul of Persis. So if you remember from the last event that we had, this is going to be the mount that should have been offered in those packages to allow us to be able to collect that. Similarly, when this was actually released, it was brought in to the Black Friday event that happened in last November, and since then we have not seen that mount since. So this is another avenue for you to pick that up. If you already have the mount, you also get the zombie core, which is going to alter the colors of it, increase the properties and the skill traits of this, to kind of give you a little bit of extra, I would say, incentive to go ahead and pick this up. So Carnage Instinct 2, once you activate the destruction status, while over 50% instead of 75, attacking that target is going to apply a 30% extra attack damage number onto all of your attacks above 50%. But as we go ahead and continue down through here, as you can see, you've got some barrier crystals in here. If you want to save up all your stuff and pick up some of these, so the advanced is quite expensive. It's out in the open world, and it's also very hard to come by outside of getting extremely lucky, these events, or being able to spend all of your arena points on picking up some of these. Same with the intermediates. But as we continue on, you can start to see that we now have some red legendary flag patterns that are coming into play, along with some more pet materials. So all of this stuff is going to go towards benefiting your account fully. It just depends on how you want to prioritize your growth within the game, what your different levels of spending are. Are you free to play? Are you pay to play? They have something for everybody, though it may not be exactly what you want. They still want to be able to provide you some things. And then not to mention that you are also able to go through and participate in some of these bosses with a chance of picking up some really, really nice items, such as all of your wing materials, all of your barrier crystals, both basic up to intermediate, and then getting these tier 5 through 8 master equipment chest is going to allow you to kind of get a jump start on building your master sets for future sets, or completing some missing pieces that you may be missing out on in the current set that you're working on. But I hope that you were able to take something away from this guide. And if you have any questions, please leave it down in the comments. I'd be more than happy to help you through and help you prioritize what you should be, focusing on to better your account progression. But with that, again, I appreciate all the support that you guys have been offering. And I am Delusions, and I am out.
Raise your sword high, let's claim our fame. With every boss fallen, we'll carve our name.